Alright, so since I just learned about props yesterday, I thought I would put props to good use. So I accidentally just closed something here, but I'm going to go ahead and try to take this Laura Smith component and make a different component. So if I open up my JSX again, I can kind of show how props work. So the way props work is basically just passing a function called props to our default functions. So now that we've put in props, we can go ahead and console.log our props. And what we'll notice is that we shouldn't get anything just yet. So we can exit that. And what we do get an object, just a prototype, but we don't really get anything because we haven't passed any props just yet. So the way we add props is going here and adding them, kind of like how we add attributes to HTML elements. So the props we have here are probably going to be name, and then we'll go ahead and say position and website. So we'll say name equals, and then we'll say Nelson Rosario. And then we'll go ahead and say, let's say title, or we can say job title equals full stack developer. And then we can go ahead and say website equals nelliesdev.com. So now that we have all of those props, we're having some problems here, but I don't think it'll get in the way. We can go ahead and see that we get our props returned back to us. Now, if we go ahead and put our props in, we are not going to get the information we want. So what we want to do is go ahead and make another information container. And this is just going to make the top half again. So now I want to go ahead and pass the rest of these because I want 2 of these cards. And I can go ahead and delete some of this stuff up here. So now what I can actually do is actually go back, and then I can leave Laura Smith's information exactly how it was supposed to be. So I can go here, say Laura Smith. She's a front-end developer, so I can put that back. Put this back here. And then Laura Smith website. Put her website back in here. And I don't know why it's adding all those extra spaces when I paste. But basically, now when we pass these props, and actually, I think it'd be a better example to just have nothing and see what happens here. Now we can use these props kind of how we use objects. So instead of Laura Smith here, we can use the object literals, and that lets JSX know that we are going to insert JavaScript. We're going to say props.name. Oh, nope. .name. And we get Nelson Rosario here. But here we get nothing because there's no props. So I wanted to know what happens when I did that, but now it's Laura Smith again. So that's working just fine. So now I want to go ahead and put the position. So I want to put props.job title, and that'll give us the job titles. So I have full stack developer there. And then we can get our website by saying props.website, I think is what I called it. Website. And now we see that Laura Smith has all her information and Nelson Rosario has all his information. And the only thing we're missing is our SRC. So we can go ahead and do that by saying img equals, and then paste that. So now we have our image. And then here, I want to use a different image for Nelson Rosario. So all I have to do is go here, and I need an image of myself. Don't know that I'm going to be able to find one. Let's just go to Let's just go to Unsplash and we'll just find a random picture for myself. So personal portrait. So I just need a portrait of somebody who can represent me. Headshot. I actually like this. Okay, that's not a bad one. It kind of does look like the Laura Smith one. Yeah, that's good. So I don't think I should use such a big image. So now we can go here and we can say rename. So we can say Alexander, and then we can push him into the images. And then we can go ahead and copy this. And instead of that, we are going to say Alexander. If we go back, it shouldn't update. And that's exactly why, because we haven't passed that prop yet. So we can pass that prop dot img. And now we should get Alexander. So we're not getting Alexander. Let's see what's going on. Unless I spelled it wrong. It's a JPEG. So JPEG, and now we get Alexander, and that's exactly what we want happening. So one thing that is really weird is that we are not getting, I think I can add some margin bottom of 2 as well. Oh, not there. So let's say margin bottom of 2. What I'm trying to do is make it to where they're not stuck together. So, and then I want to update this. Alexander Doe. No, Alexander Doe, that's fine. So, and then we'll say Alexander website. I just wanted to change that. One thing that's weird is that I'm not getting my styling here. Let me see why that is. So let's see here. Text white. What happens if we do that? Yeah, it should change accordingly. So we know that's working. So what's the component holding everything together? So P6, P5. Yeah, that's not working either. It's just weird. I don't like the way this one came out with the non-rounded borders. Yeah, that's another card though. Let me see if we can say flex wrap so that we can wrap them. Yeah, that's weird. There's still a lot of things that I have not learned just yet. I do really want to fix this though, so let me go ahead and inspect this real quick. So this is a component. Okay, it's just showing us our components. So padding top, what if I had padding bottom of like 6? What does that change? Doesn't seem like it's really changing anything. So information component, our about component. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Let's say margin. Let's do something just insane. 200 pixels. 400 pixels. Okay. So that's what that's changing. So that's not what we want being changed. Let's say margin bottom of 200 pixels. So yeah, we get the margin bottom. I think I need to add this to the footer content. So margin bottom 200 pixels. There we go. That's what I wanted to do so that the cards weren't touching. So yeah, now we have 2 cards. We have Alexander Doe and we have Laura Smith. And we didn't really have to update we didn't have to really do much. All we had to do was pass some props and then get those props and display them to the user. Another thing that I don't know why it's happening is the rounded top is not working. Okay, that's weird. I want to figure that out too. And it's not changing it either. That is really weird why that's happening like that. So H2 and then IMG, we can just say last name rounded T Excel. Okay, well, that fixed that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As we see, our animations stay, all of our information stays, and all we had to do was really update these two props. And we could even, I don't want to really do this because this is a lot to write, but yeah, just like that, we could make another user. And then even if we wanted to, we could even make another one even easier. So instead of Alexander, we can do somebody like, and I need a good headshot here. And I can go ahead and download this image. And go ahead and say Jason. We'll just say her name is Jason. No pun intended. So we can move Jason into our images. And then we can go ahead and exit this out because this is the last one we're going to make. And we can go ahead and say Jason. And now we get another person called Jason. And then her name is going to be Jason Rogers. Her name is Jason Rogers. And then she is a, let's say, software developer. So she's a software developer. And her name is Jason Codes at Python. So Jason Codes at Python. And just like that, we just created another component. And that just saves so much time. It's crazy. It's really cool how much time you can really save doing things that way. But I think that's pretty much it. I just kind of wanted to practice props before I continued on today.